Hi Pat, my name is Shelby. I'm your occupational therapist. I'm glad you're here with me today. How are you doing?
Hi Shelby, I'm doing alright.
Can you tell me a little about yourself and how you've been feeling?
I'm a manager down at the gym on Main Street, and I'm also a personal trainer there. I'm really active. I actually just did a triathlon, and I'm currently in the process of training for another one. But unfortunately, I began feeling a lot of knee and elbow pain during the recovery of my first triathlon. So it's kind of hindering my training for the second one.
That's great you're so active and you really love your job and doing triathlons. I see that your doctor's diagnosed you with rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah, which really upset me because my entire life has been based off of being active. And when I'm training for my triathlon, I feel fine like when I'm actually training, but afterwards, the pain in my knees and my elbows is just unbearable.
I see. Does it usually get worse specifically during running, biking, or swimming? Or is it about even for all of them?
I would say it definitely hurts the most after running and biking in my knees and elbows the most, but swimming seems to bother it the least. Sometimes I experience dry eyes and it's been more difficult for me to breathe during the exercise, but I would say swimming is definitely the best one.
I'm so sorry to hear that you're having pain. I can't imagine being in your position. I myself was a runner and I can't imagine having to stop because of health problems. Your face tells me that I've said something wrong.
Well, that just didn't make me feel any better at all because you can still run on your own without limitations. It's just you don't understand where I'm coming from.
Pat, that's not what I meant by it at all, and I'm so sorry you took it that way. I was just trying to relate to your situation. It may not seem like that in this situation or in this second, but I'm really here for you in your best interest, and I want to do everything in my power to help you. I understand where you're coming from and that you want to get back to doing what you love without any limitation.
Thank you. I really need your help.
Okay, so let's start with what's mainly impacting your triathlon training.
Well, it's mainly affecting my triathlon training because it hurts so bad after a day of training. It also has a huge impact on my job as a personal trainer because I have to be so active there and I have to show them exercises, and at the end of the day my knees and elbows are in pain. It's basically unbearable, making it really hard to do my job.
So you have a really active job, which is awesome, but I imagine that you have to show the clients all the exercises you're doing?
Yeah, I do. The doctor told me to stay active, but I don't really understand why if I'm having these problems.
Well, those with rheumatoid arthritis actually experience pain relief when they are active, so we'll balance your activity and your rest for the appropriate amounts.
Alright, yeah, I just want to get better.
Okay, so let's get started then. I'd like to collaborate with you so we can work to figure out what your main goals are that you want to meet to get you feeling better. Where do you see yourself at the end of these therapy sessions?
I'm honestly kind of skeptical. I'm not really sure if these sessions are even going to help me.
I can assure you, Pat, that working together will only benefit your abilities under these circumstances. Let's start with some goals and figure out where you want to be from now, and we can figure out where you want to go.
Alright, well, ideally I would like to be training for this triathlon and be able to carry out my job as a personal trainer without pain at the end of the day. That's really where I want to be.
Okay. Well, did the doctor tell you what's going on within your body?
Not really. I just know that my joints hurt.
Really? Okay, so before we start treatment, let's backtrack a little and go more into what rheumatoid arthritis is and what's actually happening.
That would be really helpful.
Rheumatoid arthritis is actually an autoimmune disease where your body's attacking itself. We have different types of joints in our body, and the knees, elbows are both synovial joints. Rheumatoid arthritis affects those areas, and that's what causes you to have pain in them. But I want to ensure that it's not something that you've done to yourself because you've been running. It's just something that's kind of been in your system and it's now starting to come out. Your pain will be increased after moving, but during the activity, normally the pain will subside.
That's unfortunate.
Okay, so you said that running and biking produce the worst pain afterwards and swimming bothers you the least?
Yeah, I mean, I still have pain after swimming, but it's definitely a lot less than biking and running.
Okay, that's actually not surprising at all that swimming bothers you the least because swimming is a very good therapeutic and rehabilitation activity that we use on a day-to-day basis, which can usually help with the joints. Do you think you could focus on swimming to get your pain under control rather than the running and biking for right now?
Well, I'd still like to do all three parts of the triathlon. That's just the only thing. I don't want to just focus on swimming because then I'm going to be losing everything that I've been working for towards running and biking, and swimming is just 1/3 of the triathlon. So I don't really know if I want to do that.
I understand where you're coming from, but it may only seem that it's 1/3 and a small portion of the triathlon, but swimming will keep you moving and your joints healthy in the meantime. It can also help relieve some of the pain that you're having.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like my team might get mad at me for only focusing on swimming, and I just really want to be able to do all 3 parts of the triathlon in order to do the whole thing and finish it.
I mean, you could definitely still bike and run, but I would just cut back on the intensity and the duration of those 2 parts of the triathlon. Maybe you could just bike or run 1 or 2 times a week for the rest of the week and then swim for the rest of the time.
Okay, yeah, that could be a little bit better if I could still practice biking and running some of the days.
Definitely, that's great. That way you can still do all 3 parts of the triathlon, but keep it up and then your teammates can't get mad at you, plus then you probably are resolving the pain that you're having in your joints.
I could probably do that, and I'm sure my teammates will understand.
Well, that's perfect. Let me know how that ends up going for you. Also, when you're done training for the day of any part of the triathlon that you're doing, you should go home and ice the affected area and even do some massaging. That should help relieve some of the symptoms from doing the actual movement.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. That makes me feel a little bit better that I can still be able to run and bike with just focusing on swimming, and then it'll just make me better in the long run. What do you think I should do for personal training, though? Because that's my job.
As far as personal training, I'm thinking that instead of showing the exercises yourself, maybe you could get someone else to come over and demonstrate them for you, or you can have pictures and videos for your clients to watch.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to talk to each client and make sure they're okay with it, but I'm sure it's going to be totally fine.
I'm sure your clients will understand, and you'll still be able to carry out your job.
Yeah, that's like the main thing, so that'd be really great. Thank you. I'm just so overwhelmed with all of this.
I know it can be very overwhelming at times, but once you have all the knowledge on how to handle the disease, you'll be better prepared to handle the situation. I'm here for you every step of the way, and you can always call me between sessions if you need to. If you stay motivated and keep your head held high, I know you can do this. You have some hurdles to get through in the next couple months, but I know you won't let this disease rule your life.
Thanks. I'll definitely probably be calling in between the sessions. I've never known anyone with this disease before, so it's just all so new to me, and it's just a completely different lifestyle.
That's totally fine, and I'm happy to hear that. But if I'm not at my desk, just leave a message and I'll call you back as soon as I can.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your help.
Absolutely, that's what I'm here for. Now let's get started.